How do I look? Handsome, I hope. The gray area of grading. 1 centimeter change in elevation over 1 meter laterally would be 1% drainage. And that is the minimum amount of drainage on subgrade when you are preparing for asphalt. Alberta highway spec is 2% from the centerline crown. Quarter crowns in street design are usually 4 or 5%. If I am finishing a bubble or an intersection, I like to try to keep it around 3% or 30 centimeters over 10 meters. We know the gutter needs to be a certain depth. The quarter crown has to be a certain number, within a centimeter or so, and the crown needs to measure up as well. But in this video, I am going to talk about the gray area. These are areas of the street that are not strictly defined. It is mostly the intersections where two streets connect. If the gravel is finished properly, the paving crew should be able to lay a consistent depth of asphalt without concern with water ponding, and the drivability should be good through the intersections. Here I am showing you an approach that heads off from the main road. The design here makes it easy for me because, as you see, they have implemented a concrete swale. There is only 1% drainage here, but because of the V shape to the swale, an imperfection in the concrete would hold very little water. This photo is of the same curb, just a few hundred meters down the street. On this approach, the radiuses are not level in elevation, and as such, the engineers have designed drainage straight through the gutter area. But here, there is no concrete swale. In this case, the grade crew will have to bone a few shots from radius to radius to make sure that the elevation is straight through. That's how this will be. So the water will basically run right down this area here. It'll run right down this area here. And that's how the water will run at the end of this approach. It's kind of screwy. The approach goes way up. And so I extended this approach out a little bit. When these approaches head up like this one here is, it's really heading, it's really aggressively heading up. You have to extend these approaches out a little bit farther because because you just can't.
Brian, it's your conscience speaking.
Otherwise, the asphalt's got to come right to the end of the curb. So, especially when they come out like this, when they come up like this, you have to extend the gravel a few meters past the end of curb, or else it's it's hard to achieve it if you don't do that. Now, this is what I'm going to call a normal tie-in. And the reason I'm calling it normal is because both radiuses are the same elevation. So the water will shed from the center line out to both curbs. Try to achieve at least 2% both ways. In this photo, the crown that is directly underneath my grader would go all the way to tie into the quarter crown of the other street. I would like to do a separate video on how to do these properly because it is so important to get it right. Here is an intersection that we just completed. Jamie is watering it, and then we will pack it with the rubber. Almost every one of these intersections is different. This one happens to have a CB in each corner. So I tried to make the center the high point and make the water shed at about 3% to each CB. Water drainage is not the only thing to consider when you are finishing these intersections. You should think about which street is the through street. Where will the stop sign be? The drivability of the intersection needs to be considered. Okay, Teresa, I'll turn around and I'll just knock that windrow down for you guys, and we can measure up the other quarter crown. What do you think of that intersection when you look at it now?
I don't know. I feel like the right-hand side seems awfully high. We haven't cut down this quarter yet.
Yeah, less than it seems like to me too. It seems like like your side is high there, but it is. I don't know what else to do with it really. Do you want me to cut a little bit off of that? Do you want me to cut a little bit off of that hump there? I could take like a few centimeters off of that high point.
We could do something crazy and bone the crown, or put a station for the crown here and down there and bone through after.
I'll try taking a few centimeters off of this. Every one of these intersections is different, and you gotta, depending on how the water drains, you gotta decide how you want to shape them. Every one is different, almost. This is a really strange, really weird one because
Yeah, that's Jimmy. They're here to pour. I know our contract gravel bin.
oh, I see. They're here to pour the wax.
No more cutting through and walking on those fence, Capewood. Man, that looks better.
Okay, well, now is the time to do it. I'll backplate that little ridge over there later. When grading these intersections and tie-ins, it is a good idea to have a discussion with the whole grading crew, so everyone is on the same page. If you have been on site for pre-grading or stabilizing, you will already be aware of any unusual design. For the grader operator, the tie-ins and intersections are a bit of their own design, whereas the rest of the street, the tape measure dictates the design. I hope you found this video helpful. Would you please subscribe, like, or comment, and we will see you next time.